Hi guys, Saki with No Command to Conquer Red Alert video. In this video I'm doing a troll game on the map Destruction Derby. I'm starting in the bottom middle position playing as the Allies. So the rules of this game is it's going to be pillboxes and navy only. I've done a little mistake there actually at the start where I built a barracks. I'm not going to use it though because I'm not going to be building any infantry this game. It was just out of habit. I should have really built, if I was going to build anything except an oil refinery, another power plant, but there you go. Sometimes it's hard to just do when you do things automatically. Anyway, I'm going to place this oil refinery next to that ore patch. The bottom middle position though is probably one of the worst positions to start with because it doesn't really have like really good access to ore, and what I'm going to build early is some pillboxes. That's just to try and destroy any infantry that may get into my base from other players. So yeah, they do really good damage, pillboxes, against infantry, so hopefully we'll be able to block any. They just have to come from the right direction. And I'm going to now build a war factory because what I'm going to want to do early on is get a good economy going. And of course, what I usually do in troll games is I usually make sure I get lots of MCVs just to increase the building speed on structures. Now, for those of you who haven't played Destruction Derby before, what it is it's got mainly ore. There's like lots of ore patches around the map, but there is one gem patch in an island in the middle. The thing is though, the island is connected to the top of the map by a bridge. So I'm sort of on the wrong side to try and use that, although I will try and obviously get on it later. But I will have to be watching out for other players who are trying to get on there now. And now we can see that green is getting into my base. He's come from an angle that's not so good, but some of my pillboxes have taken him out. So he's got a bit of vision, but not too much vision. And then we saw cyan infantry there at the bottom of the map also. I've also got a service depot out, so I can now build my first MCV. And what you can see I'm doing is I'm using that ore truck as like a scout just to get some of the map uncovered, make sure there isn't a team playing in the bottom right. Otherwise, if I took my MCV there and there was a team there, then it wouldn't end well. So getting that MCV out, the bottom like right position is probably a better position to be in. You've got more access to different ore patches from that spot. So as you can see, the spot I've got in now, it's not ideal. So getting that early MCV before I build my economy totally is probably the best move I think at this point. And now I'm going to be building that second ore refinery, which I'm going to be able to place in that new position. I just need to wait for my MCV to get there, and I'll be able to start expanding outwards. Now I am able to build navy on this map. This map usually isn't considered a hybrid, well, it isn't really considered a hybrid map, even though there are quite a few war patches on there. There's like 3. There's one around the gem island in the middle. There's one that's just above my base in the bottom right, and there's also one near the top left. Now the top left one isn't used as much because there's not as much going on there, and you can see me destroying a green infantry guy that was on there, in the bottom right position. Now there could be someone like sort of like in the middle right. There could also be possibly be players who are playing on Gem Island right now. We just don't know, but hopefully we'll be able to find out in a little bit. But first of all, what I need to focus on is getting these multiple MCVs out and also getting my economy set up and in a good position. And you can see I'm just starting to build some defences. Just to try and defend this bottom part quite well. So if I do get attacked, because I have seen green movement from there, I've also seen cyan as well. And just getting a radar dome out so I can see a little bit more. And that's a bad idea there. Because I hadn't seen any players come from that area, I thought there wasn't a person there, but it appears that red's there. So that's obviously not an area I can go to. I'm going to need to focus more on the right side of the map. And yeah, I'm going to have to think about defences on the left side as well for later on. But it does look like red is more of a passive player. So hopefully I won't get attacked there. And now you can see me expanding to that next ore patch and getting another ore refinery on there. And you can see I'm starting to stack ore quite a bit now. And that's because there's not too much I can spend it on at the moment. I can't build any infantry, I can't build any like armoured vehicles. Just MCVs and all trucks. And what I'm going to get now is I'm going to get out my tech centre. Because with allies, what you get is you get satellite, which allows you to see the whole map. Although it does take a little bit of time just to be researched. So I'm going to have to wait a little bit before I get that. And now you can see me getting that naval yard on the first of the water patches. And I'm going to start building cruisers from there. And also I'm going to build some more pillbox defences for my main part of my base. So yeah, getting these just having them spread out a little bit. The thing about pillboxes is, as I've said, they do great damage against infantry. They're also quite quick and easy to build, which is obviously a bonus. The only thing about them though is they have a very low damage output when it comes to tanks. So it's really hard to destroy tanks and things like that. And that's where my boats come in. Because cruisers, once you get a group of them together, they can do great damage. The only thing is they're going to damage my own buildings as well. So if I do have a horde of tanks coming against some pillboxes and my cruisers start firing, they're going to rip apart my pillboxes as well as the enemy tanks. So that's just something I need to bear in mind about this. But I am going to need the cruisers. They're going to play an important role in this. And yeah, just getting a few more pillboxes out. Just every time I get a new area, I just need to get more pillboxes for defence. And you can see my funds are running quite low now. And that's because I've started to build cruisers at the same time as pillboxes. And I have got a fast building speed. And what I'm going to try and do now is I'm trying to expand to the middle point of the map. Just going to cancel those cruisers for now, just so I can build other things. And it looks like I may need to expand upwards. I've managed to place one there at least. And now we're going to get some cruisers on that middle island position. And yeah, you can see how limited there are. And the thing is, our structures need to be a certain distance. Which hasn't been, they haven't been that close yet. And now I'm just having a bit of a look around that middle island ring, just to see what there is. And now I'm getting satellites, so I'm going to be able to get a lot more vision. And we can see the player in the bottom left playing as the allies. Now he's got gap generators, so I can't see what's going on in his base. And we've got the two players on the top of the map, Cyan and Green. It looks like Green's expanded out a bit. Cyan is quite localised and kept his base in the same area. So what I'm doing now is I'm just having a bit of a look around this middle island ring. And I've just noticed the gap generator just come across a little bit from that base, from his upper part of, I think it's Red's base. Cannot deploy here. So we'll have to see as he started to build anything. We've also got that transport ship. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to try to take my MCV up to the top part of the map. But we can see that Red has a naval yard there. So we might see a bit of a naval battle early on in this game. I'm trying to get my transport ship up there before he builds any ships. And we've destroyed one of those naval yards. But it looks like he had another naval yard, which the gap generator was hiding. And now I'm going to start to build some destroyers. Because cruisers are good, but only in large numbers. And what I'm doing now is I'm going to deploy this extra MCV. And what this will do is it'll get me on Gem Island. I'm going to be building a ore refinery. And now I've got some destroyers from my naval yard, which I'm going to be taking up to challenge Red's navy. I'm also getting a ore refinery there, so that's going to be mining gems, and that's going to give me a real boost in economy. So we'll see how that goes. But now my navy is sort of like engaging with Red. Red seems to have sort of, I guess we'll probably trade in equal numbers at the moment. And what I'm trying to do though is I'm going to need to try and move around my army as much as possible. I'm also going to be getting some naval yards up at the top there. And I'm going to need to actually redirect those ore trucks onto those gems. I think they're mining the ore at the moment. But I'm just trying to win this battle against Red. Let's see. We've got about I think I've got the slight upper hand with naval units, and you can see that green is attacking me from the bottom of the map, so losing that map control where I had access to the gems. Unfortunately, green's managed to destroy all my buildings there, so I'm not going to be able to mine any gems anytime soon. And now you can see that green, it looks like he's going towards my base at the bottom. At least I've still got some pillboxes defending that position. And we haven't seen much from cyan yet, but this fight against red is continuing, and actually it looks like now that green and cyan are starting to have a little bit of a brawl, and the fight against red's navy seems to be going very well. And I think the big deciding factor there is I think our naval units were equal at one point, but I think it was just I moved mine around a little bit better. I possibly had a little bit better production speed as well, because I think I have about 4 on the map in total. But now you can see that red has been cleared off the water, and he's been destroying some of his buildings which are very close by. And yeah, it's so red's been pushed back for now. But what we have to be worried about is the teams at the top of the map as well, because they could launch a tank attack at any time. And this part of the game is a big win for me, because now I've got control of this middle water patch, and that's going to give me a big advantage over the other players, because I think this is the biggest, well, it is the biggest water patch in the game. It gives me access to the left side of the map, it also gives me access to the right side of the map, and most importantly, it gives me access to the gems, if I can get my base there. But it also means that other players aren't going to be able to mine those gems, because any of your trucks that go into that middle island are going to be taken out by my navy. So now what I'm going to do is try a little bit of a base crawl. You can see I'm building quite a few pillboxes now, because I do need to make sure that this left side of my base is defended well, because I've got lots of defences in the bottom right, but not so many in the middle. I'm just doing a little bit of damage to red's base there in the middle left of the map. And now I'm going to be getting another ore refinery, and now I'm starting to mine off red's ore patches, because as I get more map control I can be a bit more cheeky. And now you can see that red doesn't like that. He's starting to take tanks and units across to attack my ore truck, and you can see there he's got a reasonable tank army. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my naval units down in order to help my pillboxes, because as I said earlier, the pillboxes don't do much damage, but the naval units do. So we'll have to see how they get on. You can see at the moment he's got good tank numbers, so they could take out a lot of my pillboxes. I'm starting to bring them up the map as well. So we'll have to see. It looks like he might be going for my bottom middle base at the moment, but I think he might have to pull back soon, because what he's going to see is his ore refineries are going to be starting to be surrounded. But you can see now he's going for the attack on my middle base. He takes out the construction yard. He's now going for the radar dome, which he manages to take out as well, although it doesn't matter because I've got satellite. And he's taken out some of my major buildings, my barracks and my war factory. And as he's doing this, I'm just laying more and more pillboxes, and I'm going to need to hope that he doesn't get too far in to my main base in the bottom right. Because I've still got quite a few MCVs. You can see my build speed still fast, because I've got most of my MCVs weren't in the middle there. They were in actually the bottom right. And now I've got some pillboxes in red's base, so they're going to be doing some damage to red's ore trucks. And just strengthening my defences here, because we can see the green is now going for the attack. And you can see him with a number of light tanks. I do have some cruisers there, and hopefully they're going to be able to provide decent damage output to those light tanks. And it looks like those green tanks aren't able to get through. You can see them bunching up and having a few tracking problems. And I think I managed to get like a complete block with my pillboxes, so there's no route through. And those light tanks look like they're going down. Those cruisers doing some great damage, and the pillbox is doing some decent damage too. And you can see now green is pulling back. What he needed to do is go down the right side, and now you can see I've been a bit distracted, and red's been doing a bit of damage to my infantry. And you can see red going for those medium tanks, and red's done the right thing here, because those medium tanks are much more sturdy. As I say, pillboxes don't do great damage against tanks, whether they're light or medium. But those medium tanks just have more armour and have much more HP. So it's a lot harder to destroy. It's also the same for infantry. The medium tanks just have more hit points and they're just harder to eliminate. So it's definitely the tank of choice if you're going up against navy and pillboxes. And now you can see that green and red are getting in a little bit of a fight. And now when green realised he couldn't attack me, it looks like he's decided to go for the attack on red. Probably not the best idea in a free-for-all match, but that's what he's decided to go for anyway. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to rebuild some of my structures from earlier. So I've got my service depot again. I've got it now. And I've also got a war factory, so I'm going to be able to build construction yards. And just regain control, because I have taken quite a bit of damage from fights. We had green obviously attack some of my buildings at the top, destroying my passage to Gem Island. We also had red destroying the bottom middle part of my base. And what I have to be very careful of, and you can see I'm struggling at the moment, is with ore. Because the ore patches near my bottom right position, they've run out. So I'm in quite a vulnerable position at the moment. I need to find a way to get access to more ore. And that's why I'm having to go here at the moment. And hopefully I'm just going to have to hope that my navy is going to be able to provide enough support. So it was important that green did attack red there, because it's given me a bit of respite. And I'm going to need to reassess myself and also rebuild my... And just having a look at the map, I can see that red has loads of access to ore. I can see that green ore has used most of the ore around their side of the map at the top. So they're going to be having a struggle to produce tanks soon. So I'm going to have to probably try and sort of eliminate them. I'm having a think, and maybe that was why they were attacking red, to try and get access to the ore that's located sort of in the middle left position. Because we can see there's quite a bit of ore there, and you can see I'm starting to build my economy a little bit around this area. Just getting some ore refineries out and getting some pillboxes laid down. And now you can see that green is destroying a barracks up in the top right position.
Vehicle report acknowledged.
But that's out, of course, and now red taking some tanks. And red's sort of like in the position where he doesn't want to get too close to the water, because obviously he knows I have navy there and they're going to do a lot of damage. I've also got some more cruisers which I'm going to take further to the left of the map. And we can see some movement in green's base, so I think he's going to start moving some of his tanks and infantry possibly. So we'll have to see what his intentions are. But now we can see that red is going for the attack on my base, and it looks like red has switched back to light tanks. As I say, I don't think light tanks are effective in this situation, but as medium tanks, but they can be obviously cause a lot of damage in large numbers. And what I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to sort of like crawl back to that bridge so I can start building ore refineries again and get some like ore trucks on that middle gem patch, because that's going to solve all my ore issues. And we can see that red is doing a bit of destruction to my base, and now he's pushing back up. So hopefully my navy is going to be able to hold him off, but we'll have to wait and see. One of the reasons I built those pillboxes right next to the water is so that if he does go for an attack on those pillboxes, he's going to have to go through cruiser fire, and they're going to be very, very hard to destroy. And now you can see me expanding up to the north of the map. But what I've already seen is a red patch just appearing just above to the like sort of middle right position. So what I'm thinking is that red may have built a base there, and he might have, it was probably like a chronosphere that he used to get there. But you can see there a little bit of a mistake. Well, my cruisers firing on those ore trucks, but taking out my ore refinery, because those cruisers do great damage. The only disadvantage of them is to do attack friendly buildings as well. And I can see that green has some units in the middle left and seems to be having a little bit of a fight with red at the moment. Green's going to be really struggling for ore, because red's got like sort of like, I think he's got an outside base now in the top, like near the top right position. I've got like sort of like a base in the middle, so there's not really many areas that green can go. so he's going to be struggling quite a bit if he wants to get set up again and get back into this game. Because there's just nowhere he can go, really. He has to fight players everywhere he goes. And we can also see Red has some units now in this right position. And I can see there the green ore trucks mining off that ore patch. So what I've done is I've built some pillboxes. And now we can see that Red has got another sort of like outer base. He's got another MCV. I'm just sending some pillboxes there just to destroy his next ore refinery. And you can see that MCV there coming back. But it looks like that MCV is going to go down. And indeed it does. And I think we're going to be able to destroy these two other structures with not too many problems. And now you can see me building my pillbox numbers up. And that's going to pose a big problem to the ore trucks of green. And he's probably going to start losing them now. Because those pillboxes in large numbers are doing quite a bit of damage, even though they don't do too much damage when they're in small numbers. And you can see me getting a pillbox there where Red's base was as well. And just having to sort of like guarding the other flank. And now we're going to see some of Green's ore trucks start to go through. We've taken one down there. And now Green's starting to take some tanks down. He's going to try and take out my pillboxes. We'll have to see how this goes. I'm also going to be able to try and push into Red's territory and just get some more funds there. And you can see Red with the heavy tank, medium tank and light tank. But those tanks starting to be taken out. You can see they're on quite low HP. I think there may have been a little bit of a battle with Green earlier on, but now starting to build the pillboxes. And you can see that big green army starting to go towards the middle part, the top middle part of my base, which is, of course, linked to Gem Island. So just producing some pillboxes there. I've also got some cruiser fire for a bit of backup. And it looks like that ore refinery is going to go down. And it does. And it does look like that bridge, unfortunately, has been destroyed. But I do have some funds in the bank, so we'll have to see how it goes. It's starting to sort of like blast through some of those power plants. Because I've got plenty of cruisers there, I'm going to be able to get some good shots because they are at quite close range. And this is why I built my pillboxes right next to the water, so those cruisers could do some great damage and the other team wouldn't be able to wipe out the full base. Which is what happened earlier in the game when Green went for the attack early on, where I first got my MCV in that position. And now the Green has tapped out of the game. I think he's just realised he's lost too many ore trucks, he's lost a lot of tanks, and he knows he has no way of replenishing. But now Red going on the attack, he's starting to take out some pillboxes. He's also going for the ore refinery, which he manages to take out. And now I'm starting to be pushed back. We can also see that Red has another base. We can see another blank patch on the top of the map. And the thing is, although Red, probably Red's got more map control than me. And the big thing about Red is that he's controlling the ore patches. So now I've got like sort of like a fight for the game. I need to get control of some of these ore patches. Otherwise, I'm going to be absolutely toast. We can see those tanks coming in now, those light tanks in large numbers. As I say, I think he's made a little bit of a mistake there. I think he should be using medium tanks. He's also got some turrets laid out, but those turrets don't fire unless you do it manually, which you can see he's used one of them manually to fire on some of my pillboxes there. But now I'm laying down my pillboxes. Not only am I taking out tanks, I'm also going to be doing some damage to ore trucks, and if I take out any ore trucks, that's going to in turn damage his economy. But he does have a lot of light tanks, and it does look like they're going to be slowly and surely be able to clear me up. I do have like a decent building speed at the moment, but it could be better. You can see I've got plenty of ore stacked up, so I could have possibly had another couple of MCVs and be turning out these pillboxes a little bit faster. But you can see we're sort of like in a bit of a stalemate at the moment. He's losing some tanks, he's gaining some tanks because he's producing all the time, of course. And it just looks like we're going back and forth. But it looks like he's going to be able to possibly destroy me at this point. However, some of those light tanks do look like they're on low HP. You can see there, he's got about 3 of them on red. And now, suddenly, it seems like the tables are turning. He's starting to lose tank numbers. And as he loses that tank mass, he's not going to be able to destroy my pillboxes anywhere near as fast. And this is sort of the opening I need. What I'm going to do now is going to try and take map control. And as I say, I do need map control very, very badly at this point. because I do need access to more ore patches, and if I can keep control of this one, then that's going to be a step in the right direction. You can see he's only got 3 light tanks left, and I've got a lot of pillboxes, and I'm just going to keep on building. He's starting to bring more light tanks in, but I'm just trying to surround this ore patch with my pillboxes, and hopefully be able to take out those ore trucks. And you can see them on very low HP, one's on red at the moment. I think he's possibly going to be able to... I don't know if he's going to get them away, actually. He might just manage to do it. But you can see those, one of them's going to go down, surely. I think we've possibly got one of them down at least there. And look, we can see the other one there as well. And now he's sold that ore refinery. And yeah, that other ore truck does go down. So we've got a couple of ore trucks down there. And that's going to make it harder to replenish his tanks. You can see red again with the light tanks at the bottom. And now he's trying to push up as we're on another ore patch. But you can see he tried to sell that ore refinery, and he's lost another ore truck to my pillboxes there. So I've made some good ground there. You can see my right side of my base is well defended, and it looks like it's going very well in the bottom left, which is absolutely what I need. And you can see there's my MCVs. The MCVs I need for my faster building speed, because I've got tons and tons of ore in the bank, so I can be producing these pillboxes quite a bit faster. I've also got a chronosphere, which is going to be a bit useful later on, I think, because I've got a little plan with that. But now just putting these pillboxes out, and you can see I've got pretty much a good stronghold. I'm going to start taking out those turrets as well, and start using these ore refineries to collect some of the resources that I now have access to. Because I think this is... I've got more control of this side, but we can see now that red is coming up with some light tanks. But I think I do have enough pillboxes here to defend against this, hopefully. Because as soon as he gets into this massive pillboxes, he's going to be starting to lose those tanks. And you can see now he's taking them back. Because even though he's got a good number of tanks there, a lot of them are on low HP. And they will fall if they go into a wall of pillboxes. And yeah, just rebuilding this now. Just making a big line of them. Let's see if he goes for the fight against this. I think this could turn out, though, well in my favour. Because a lot of those pillboxes now are very badly damaged. Instead of having them in a line, though, I need them sort of like in a row so they can fight like head on, all of them at once. But you can see those light tanks doing quite a bit of damage. But I've got a lot of pillboxes there. And as soon as he starts to get in the range of like about 8 of them, then his light tanks do fall quite quickly. And you can see he's lost that tank mass now, and he's being pushed back once again. And his economy must have taken a hard hit now, because he has lost a lot of ore trucks. So I do think that he's going to be struggling for that quite a bit. So I'm not suspecting that those tank numbers will be replenished as quickly this time. And it just seems like it may be a matter of time now, because I'm just getting more and more control, and the more control I get of the ore patches, and you can still see now that I've got this like extra economy on these ore patches, even though I've got a faster building speed, I'm still stacking up the ore and the resources, which is what I need to at the moment, really, because I've got a little bit of a plan coming on. Just have a little check there of the chrono research, because obviously a chronosphere takes it has a cooldown time until it gets activated, and it's like over 50% there, so I will be able to use it before too long. Just making sure I have plenty of power there, so that I don't get low on power. The lower I am on power, the slower my building speed. And you can see now he's starting to build some walls in his base, just to try and stop my pillboxes from being able to get through. You don't like see walls being built that much, so this is unusual. But right now, it looks like my base is very, very well defended. I've also got a naval yard ready to build very, very quickly, because there is one water patch which I haven't got to yet. And you can see some of those tanks coming through, going for my ore truck. And that ore truck looks like it's going to go down, but he's also losing quite a few tanks in the process. And he might go further down to my base, but there are lots of pillboxes there. And with those damaged tanks, they're not going to last too long. And you can see some of those tanks being lost there, going through the other side. And now I've got that I've just deployed that extra MCV, and we're going to go onto the third water patch. We're going to be getting cruisers out, and we can see that red has a base in the middle left position, sort of right next to that water patch, and it looks like that red has tapped out. He's seen those cruisers, and he's had enough. I think you could see the way it was going. So that is good game. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.